Mrs. Fairfield Bay and boys and girls. Guess who's back? The Fairfield Bay Gadfly. You betcha. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be back in front of the microphone and in front of you. Y'all are the ones that this is all for. And I really appreciate you tuning in today. Now, as the title of this video starts out, this is the Politics 2022 version, and we are not going to address all the offices in one fell swoop. We're going to do this in bits and pieces. And today, we're looking at the sheriff's race in Van Buren County. I'm sorry for you folks in Grand Isle and that other unnamed peninsula. We will not be addressing the candidates for Cleburne County, assuming there are some, which I do not know since I don't live there. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at the sheriff's race in Van Buren County. We have 3 candidates, and they're all very nice, good men. I've been impressed with them. I really haven't spoken much with Mr. Wiloughby, primarily because there's a D after his name, and God save me, I'm trying to save the earth from getting struck by lightning by not voting for Democrats. So I'm sure he's a great guy. I've heard good things about him, but it will never happen for the Gadfly to vote for a Democrat. Then we have Mr. Koonce, Eric Koonce. Great young man. He's starting off, he's been in law enforcement for a number of years now. He's very qualified. In fact, I think all 3 of them are very qualified. And I've been very impressed with him listening to me, giving me a call back. Times when I just, hey, let's get together, or let's talk about this sometime. He's Johnny on the spot, and he calls me. And I'm just really impressed with the answers he gives me. And I think he certainly deserves your consideration. Now, we have a 3rd candidate, an independent, Mr. Michael Shamoon. And I have also met with Michael and have spoken with him about my concerns. And just to give you kind of a background, my degrees are in law enforcement and criminal justice. Way back when, old school. This was before any of the NCIS and special victims units and all that silly stuff. This is back in the old school policing. And those are what I have my degrees in. And so anytime that we have either on the county level with the sheriff, or on the local level with the chief of police or the police force, I'm always interested in what their thoughts are. I have not been overly impressed the last 3 years or so since we've been here with the current administration, so I'm glad that we have an opportunity to talk with all these candidates, and like I said, they all appeared to be very open with how they view things. And like I said, I won't tell fibs. I really have not spoken with Mr. Wiloughby, but I wish him the best. And I wish all 3 of them the best because they're all 3 qualified. But you need to look at their backgrounds. You need to look what they've been doing over the last, say, 4 or 5 years in the law enforcement area. This is very important to Van Buren County. And I hope each of you will consider the candidates, will consider their positions, and if you don't know their positions, call them. I mean, as far as I can tell, all 3 of them will call you back and will tell you what they think and what their challenges that they see, how they plan to approach changes in Van Buren County, which needs some change at this point in time. So please, 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 sit down, go over each of the candidates, Mr. Wiloughby, Mr. Koonce, and Mr. Shamoon. I think that it's not always the case where you have really good candidates for a certain position. And in this case, Van Buren County has gotten lucky. We have good candidates, but you need to find out what their positions are. Just don't go in that polling booth and say, oh, I don't know, he has a nice name, let me flip that button, or push. Yeah, it's electronic now, and that you use the touch screen. I'll get used to that eventually. I remember I really had fun with the old mechanical machines that had the little lever that you push down, and if you really wanted to vote for somebody, you push that sucker hard and people outside could hear you. But unfortunately, we can't do that anymore. We have to be real nice, stand up there in front of the touch screen and touch it gently so we don't break the machine, because it costs thousands of dollars. But anyway, for the sheriff's race in Van Buren County in 2022, you need to look at all of the candidates, find out how their positions match up with yours, and vote. That's what we're looking for. Now, going forward, we will be looking at the Fairfield Bay mayor's race. The Fairfield Bay city council races. And we'll see what happens. But just, keep tuning in, and I'll keep you cued in as far as what's happened in politics around Fairfield Bay. Yeah, we're glad to be back, and we're glad to share our joy with you. This is the Fairfield Bay Gadfly signing off for now.